Hello and welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. Today we'll be previewing game week 7. And I have with me as usual my co-host, Mr. Abrar Aziz. What's up, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to this podcast. Actually, there's some good stuff to be talked about eventually. We'll get
Uh,
there.
it's going to be a big podcast. And as usual, my other co-host, Mr. Zohair Khan. What's up, bro?
Bro, I'm living on cloud nine right now. Just getting to see back-to-back Champions League tactical master classes by Ole. Ole's at the wheel. Ole's been at the wheel.
Can you explain what the Champions League is for us who don't know or who are not
Oh
in
yes,
it?
for those of us that tune in on Thursdays, don't get to watch games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's what the best teams in Europe playing. And at the end of the day, you eat all your vegetables and you go to bed early and you say your prayers at night. Maybe one day you'll be there too.
Enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it. We're coming for you. We're coming for you.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a great podcast. Some exciting games this game week. Let's start off with the Friday's game. It's going to be Wolves versus Crystal Palace. So let's have the predictions. Don, I'll go with you first.
So I think that this is going to be a pretty easy game for Wolves. I think that they'll dominate. I'm not taking anything away from Crystal Palace. They've also won their last game. They've been looking good, but I just think that Wolves have enough in the tank to be able to beat this Crystal Palace side that's kind of blowing hot and cold a little bit this season. So I just think that Wolves are starting to find their feet a little bit. So I think that they'll be okay and they'll win this one 2-1.
2-1 for Wolves. That's Don's prediction. On the contrary, don't you think Wolves are missing their fullbacks a bit, like Doherty and stuff who used to play with them last year? Because they're not creating as many chances this season.
I think they're definitely playing differently than they were playing last year. They, like you said, you mentioned it, they don't have the same personnel. They're not able to do the same sort of things. But I think that they are beginning to round into some type of form. They had a little bit of an adjustment period at the beginning of the season, but I think they're looking, more and more solid, kind of more like the team that was doing well last year. So I've got them winning as well. I think that Palace will sneak a goal in, but Wolves to win 2-1.
Oh, same prediction. You both are going 2-1, right?
Yeah.
2-1 to Wolves. I'll go 1-1 Wolves Palace. I just feel that Wolves haven't scoring as much and they're not creating as many chances. They have a goal in them. I think Jimenez will score a goal and then probably Zaha with the equalizer. So I'm going 1-1. And then moving on to Saturday's games, Sheffield United versus Man City. I mean, Sheffield did score a goal against Liverpool. It wasn't a poor performance. I mean, it was decent in comparison to who they were playing. So Zoe, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this game?
So I think honestly, I think City have been playing well. They've been blowing hot and cold as well, but I think they had a good result against Marseille, Champions League team. They were playing away. So that'll give them a lot of confidence going into this game against Sheffield. Sheffield's, I don't know, they've been very poor this season.
Yeah, in comparison to last season, for sure.
In comparison to last season, for sure. And I think that City is going to want to put some of their lackluster results, behind them. Their game against West Ham, there was another one, I forget exactly who, but they conceded 3. So just things like that. They want to move past that and they want to play well. I think they're going to come out all guns blazing and go for a 3-0 win for City.
3-0 for City. That's Zoe's prediction. Don, KDB is back. That'll be great for news for Man City. He's the best player. So do you think they'll stop dropping points now, at least for the time being?
I think they really need to. They need to definitely up their game. They've not really been the City that we've become used to seeing in the recent past, at least for the past few years. They've really started poorly this season. They've had a couple of games that they should have really won. Even last week, a surprise draw against West Ham, where not a lot of people were expecting that. So they really need to get going. Sheffield, unfortunately, when they started so poorly, and then they have some very big games like in Liverpool last week, City this week. So they've kind of just been hit with they've just not been able to get going, unfortunately for them. And I think that'll continue even this week. But I think that City will have enough in the tank to be able to beat Sheffield. So I kind of agree with Zoe. They'll come out all guns blazing, 2-0 to City.
So you're going 2-0 City.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going 2-1 Sheffield. I'm sorry, I don't think I have much explanation for that, but yeah, 2-1 to Sheffield United. You're moving on to the next game, Burnley versus Chelsea. Don, Chelsea seems getting that chemistry back, man. I mean, starting to get that chemistry started with a good Champions League win today as well. It's slowly coming. It's taking time, but it's slowly coming. Your thoughts on this game?
They somehow are able to do some stuff in the Champions League, but like when they come to the Premier League, I don't know what happens to them. They've really surprised and confused us. I mean, I've been mentioning this that the gelling aspect is very important. Uh, I think they've played a fair few games now together, so I think that they're slowly understanding. But now is the time for them to really put the foot on the pedal. I think they need to start getting some continuous victories together. Only then they'll be able to. They want if they want to be considered title challengers, they need a few games now because once City and Liverpool and those guys start that consistency, it's going to be hard for them to catch up. And these are the kind of games you expect them to win. And Burnley has really not is not the defensive side we once knew a couple of years back. These guys have really lost. They've lost the steam that we've known to come like that kind of solid defensive unit in Burnley. We don't see that anymore. I'm expecting Chelsea to win this 2-1. They just have they will leak goals. It's a matter of scoring more than they leak, So I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay, you're going 2-1 Chelsea. So do you think Chelsea's performance last week against United, was that a point gain or a point loss? Because, I mean, after spending a lot, or do you think it's just the chemistry building and they'll take that point and now beat these kind of teams?
I mean, I think it's important. It was important for them to keep that clean sheet because Chelsea had been, conceding a lot of goals, even in games that they were winning. They were leaky at the back. So to get a couple of clean sheets, even today they won 4-0 in their Champions League game. So just these things are really, I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence. I do think they're still suspect at the back. It's still not, they haven't ironed out all the kinks. But looking at the way their team was clicking today, Werner scored. Hakim Ziyech scored. That guy's a baller, and he's finally being able to play for them. Pulisic came on, looked really good as well. So they're really getting their full team back, and they're beginning to develop that attacking chemistry that you knew was eventually going to come around. I have them sweeping Burnley aside. I feel like they're gonna leak a goal, but I think they're gonna bang a couple past Burnley. So I've got them winning 4-1.
4-1 to Chelsea. I actually have them written down 4-0. I'm just going with the clean sheet just based on their last defensive performance. But yeah, I'll probably go 4-0 to Chelsea, and I agree with your points there. And then moving on, last game of Saturday, Liverpool versus West Ham. So this Liverpool not as convincing as last season. Of course, injuries are hampering them, but they got a crucial win against Sheffield. West Ham have been actually the surprise of the season. They've played some really good football. They've got points against big teams. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting, especially with with the way Liverpool has been looking this season. I mean, they lost Fabinho to injury as well, so now they're down to one senior center back, I believe. So it's really, like, what are they going to end up playing as their back line? I know that Alisson is back, so that does wonders for them. But at the same time, they haven't been scoring as freely as they were last season. And as you said, this West Ham team has been looking real good. They've been the surprise of the season so far, one of the surprises in a pretty surprising season. And they've more than held their own against teams like City and Tottenham. So I think that, West Ham's going to come in looking to play their football. Moyes is looking like a coach reborn. I've got them drawing 2-2 today, or well, on that day.
Yeah, 2-2. Don, do you agree with that?
Actually, I'm not. I don't know. West Ham, like you said, has been one of the teams that started off a little bit poorly, but man, they've really picked it up. I mean, they take so much confidence from that draw against City last season. But I just think that
last week.
Last week. Sorry, last week. But I just think that Liverpool, on the other hand, like Zoe mentioned, a lot of defensive issues in terms of the injuries and all of that stuff. But I just think that this is the kind of game that Klopp's really going to sit them down and be like, you know what, all these injuries, everything aside, we got to go out and show that we are the best team in this league. And if they want to do that, they need to just get out there and get the wins and beat these kind of teams convincingly to just stamp their authority on this league that has now suddenly started to open up. And with the likes of Chelsea, City, everyone's starting to maybe it's just going to be an open season. It's good for the league, but if they want to stamp their authority, this is the kind of the game that they need to go out there. And I'm going to go with what did I write? I'm going to go with a 3-1 Liverpool win.
Going 3-1 Liverpool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Don, just on that, just to touch on that, do you think though with the already the injuries they have plus the COVID situation, it's going to be difficult to repeat what they did last year? Like,
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I know,
It's
like
not
that's
gonna
the
be a
goal.
blowout season for them.
Yeah, that's the goal, but it looks difficult, right? Like, I mean, it'll
They've
be
already
challenging.
they've already lost a few points in this year. They've already lost one game. They've drawn a couple. They've just it's already like for them to be able to repeat the 99 or 97 points that they had last season. I think it was 98 or 97, whatever. But for them to be able to repeat that kind of a performance is almost impossible already because of the start. As last season they didn't lose until like March of the season, and everything was going well until then. But yeah, it's just a matter of uh, not thinking about that, but at the end of the day trying to win the league. And I still think that they are still firm favorites, and this is the kind of game that they really need to just kind of kickstart after a little bit of a shaky few games for them.
Yeah, some fair points there. I'm going with 3-2 West Ham, but I really think they're going to maybe get a point, at least get a point. I think West Ham is set up for these kind of games against the big teams. They struggle sometimes against the weaker teams, but they play well. I won't be surprised if Liverpool win, but I just feel this is the time to take them for a team like West Ham who are in form. I think they can press those weaknesses, especially at the back with Antonio leading the front line. So I'm going with a 3-2 West Ham win. Yeah, I'm optimistic, but let's see how it goes. That wraps up Saturday's games. Moving on to Sunday, the first game of Sunday, a big match: Ashton Villa versus Southampton. Don, you can take this first.
So before I just start off with whatever I want to say, I just want to give my prediction. I'm going for a Villa 2-1. Okay, so but this is just to make my boy Carl happy. Carl, shout out to you. You've been very friendly. You're my boy. I appreciate all the comments that you keep putting towards us. Keep them coming. For you, this is a 2-1 victory. But I have to say, Southampton is the team that beat an informed Everton last season. Last week. What is it? What am I with last season?
Yeah.
Last week. And
Southampton's looking good.
Yeah, exactly. And Southampton's starting to look good, but I just feel like Aston Villa will take a lot of. They'll be very upset with that performance last week against against Leeds, and they'll be out there to kind of prove a point. So that's kind of my understanding. And they'll come out all guns blazing. I have a feeling that they'll be able to beat Southampton in this game 2-1, I think. Yeah,
2-1. Yes.
Slipped my mind. I had
my man ran out of words, man. My man ran out of words.
I had something else I wanted to say. It's just not coming to me, but it's fine. It'll come to me at some point.
Yeah. So, your thoughts on this game? Southampton have been in really good form. Villa were looking amazing until the last game. I mean, right now, momentum seems in Southampton's side.
Yo, for real, Southampton's been killing it as of late, man. They beat Everton. They took them out 2-0. They drew with Chelsea 3-3. Beat West Brom, beat Burnley. Then they lost to Tottenham before that. So they've been on a good run. They've been scoring goals. Even in the game that they lost to Tottenham, they still scored 2 goals. So it's like scoring isn't really a problem for them. Maybe defending is, but they've been looking good. Danny Ings been looking good. I've been shouting out my guy all season.
He's getting those assists as well with the goals.
Getting those assists as well. He's like a budget Harry Kane, bro.
Nice one.
That's it. But with Villa, man, they've been looking good too. Shout out to my man Carlo as well. I got you, bro, on this one. That loss against Leeds was, must have hurt, but I think that's going to give them fuel. Like Donnie was saying, it's going to give them fuel to come back strong in this game. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I have it 3-2 for Aston Villa.
Woo! 3-2 to Villa. I actually had written down exactly what Don wrote, 2-1. I was actually going to write a draw 2-2, but I just feel they'll be hurting after that loss to Villa, and I think Grealish and the boys will be up for it. And Grealish had a few good chances in that game against Leeds. I think they did create it, just they didn't finish it off, and then after that they got punished by Bamford. So I feel that Villa will come back pumped, hoping for a good game. But yeah, I'm going 2-1 to Aston Villa as well. The rest of that game, and then moving on to the next game on Sunday, Newcastle United versus Everton. Everton were flying high until got a reality check against Southampton. Zoe, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think the game against Southampton was a blip, but every team stumbles every now and then. Now it's important to see how they recover from this. One of the issues with Everton has been that they've gone on these sorts of runs before, but they haven't been able to build anything consistent. They've got a top manager in Carlo. The team's looking good as well. They've reinforced in all the right places. They have all the right pieces in place. So now it's about getting that mindset and getting into that championship winning mentality. And that's, a lot easier said than done. But if there's anyone who's going to get them there, it's going to be Carlo. I think that, yeah, they slipped against Southampton, but this Newcastle team doesn't have enough to trouble Everton. I think Everton's going to go back to winning. They might play a little bit more conservatively just to make sure, that they do things right. They might be a little bit more cautious after losing last time around, but I think that they're going to win pretty comfortably, 2-0 for me to Everton.
2-0 to Everton. Don, your sentiments on this game, do you share Zoe's thoughts?
Yeah, I have Everton to win 3-1 on this in this game as well. I think that they really need to they'll really be hurting after that game, that loss against Southampton. I think they're a very good side, no doubt about that. They if they want to compete for top 4, they will need to brush that game aside quickly and start getting some points under their belt. Continue to keep bringing those points in, and I think that this would be a good game after that loss for them to play, and I think they'll win 3-1.
3-1 to Everton. I'll probably go with a 2-1 Everton win. I think they'll nick this one as well. Hopefully they'll fight back after that last game. I will be skipping the next game. Let's go to Spurs versus Brighton. The greatest team in North London. Great comeback after the 3-3 draw. Mourinho has this team set up well. The scoring goals. Yes, it was only a 1-0 win on Monday, but the Son and Kane, the combination looks invincible right now. Sorry to use that word, Don, but Don, you can take this first.
First of all, very, very. I'm kind of shaken by that word. There's only one team in the world that is allowed to use that word, and that's Arsenal Football Club. So I would want you to eat your words.
But I meant
I know. I'm messing with you. I know exactly what you meant.
From the FPL kind of perspective.
No, I completely understand what you meant. I had to mess with you because you used the word. That's the only word that I'm very proud of. That's word.
It's a trigger word for you, huh?
You have every right to mess with me, man. The amount of stuff to give me and Zoe give you 1-1 right now.
I have invincible written in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I
regretted saying that word after. I'm like, I'm sorry, Don. But yeah, but they are the greatest team in North London. So, what are your thoughts on this team?
Well, that's also bullshit. I guess in terms of without being biased, this is genuinely what I feel, right? I feel that Brighton has been a little bit unlucky this season. It's just one of those teams that they've just had they started off with Chelsea, they played well, they lost. They had a couple other games where they kind of they showed some good promise, they've lost. Their past 2 game weeks they've been drawing 1-1. They played against Palace, they unfortunate red card, they drew that game. They last week against, I think, Newcastle they drew again 1-1. So they've just been a team that has potential, but they haven't kind of lived up to it, and they've also been a little inconsistent in trying to score goals, and they haven't been able to close games off. But I think that the Spurs team is rubbish, and it's going to be 1-1.
Oh, nice one.
I was trying to be as unbiased as I can, but I had to just say it. No, but seriously though, Spurs have been playing well, no doubt about that. Like you said, Harry Kane and Son have been very good for this team. Attacking wise, they've been very good. I just can't predict them to win a game, man. It's just 1-1 for me for that reason.
Yeah, fair enough. Brighton can't seem to finish, but Tottenham don't have those problems. But we saw against West Ham, they did concede goals as well, Tottenham. So it'll be an exciting game. What are your thoughts on it?
Bro, first of all, I think Don is crazy. I think Don is absolutely nuts, and he should get himself checked out or checked in. But I disagree with him across the board over here.
I'm not surprised.
So I think that Brighton's been a bit unlucky, but again, they really haven't shown that they have what it takes to beat the top teams. United got a lucky win against them, but sometimes that's just how it rolls. In terms of Tottenham, yes, they slipped up against West Ham 3-3, but ever since then, they beat last 3-0. They won against Burnley 1-0. Also, they've been keeping clean sheets, tighten things up at the back. I think the way that Brighton plays, they remind me of Norwich last season, where they're kind of just they just play all out. but because of that, it's attractive football, but because of that, they leave themselves open to getting cut apart. And I think that's what's going to happen over here. I think Tottenham's going to rip them apart 3-0.
3-0. And this time, if they go 3 up, they're not gonna lose it. Mourinho's probably taught them the lesson already.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay, Don, I'm sorry we cover your ears, but I haven't written 6-0.
6-0. Wow.
6-0. I'm going a bit wild card. I'm going a bit wild on this. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I just think Son and Kane, man, they're gonna rip it apart.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they have a 6-0 win as well. Like, I mean, realistically speaking, they're a very good side. They've really they started off like you said, after that West Ham game. They've really shown some good football. They've Harry Kane and Son have been very, very good. The likes of addition of Bale coming in to that front three will be only better for them. I just can't predict a win for them.
But like, they have been inconsistent. Like, that they threw away the 3-0 lead. So I think they need to make a statement. And if they want to go for the league, this is the time to make the statement. So I'm just going for a big win. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but that's why, because I think they have been a bit inconsistent here and there. But if they want to make a statement to challenge the league, they need a big win. Like they did against United. I think it'll get them back on track. So Spurs 6-0. And then moving on to Monday's games, Fulham versus West Brom. I already think I know what you guys are going to talk about in this game, but Don, you can take this first. We always have a game like this every week.
This game's going to be a goal fest. That's all I can say. Like, both teams are struggling so bad, like a lot defensively. Both of just don't know what's going on defensive wise. I feel like both of them have a goal or two in them, and just because the defense of the other team is so bad, I just feel like this is going to be a high scoring goal fest with just some very serious defensive issues across the board. Some really sloppy defending from both teams, and I think it's going to be 3-3.
3-3. So it's not going to be a boring game in your opinion.
No, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So completely opposite to what I thought.
Yeah, it's not going to be quality, I don't think. There's
Yeah.
going to be errors across the board. There's going to be things like that. But I think it's going to be a fun game to watch as a neutral.
So do you think it's going to be a fun game?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, West Brom's been better at scoring goals than Fulham, that's for sure. West Brom scored against some decent teams.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how much of that is luck and how much of that is just, them actually being able to play. Fulham can't play, man. Fulham's trash. They might as well. They should just start prepping for championship already. But for me, I've got West Brom winning 2-1, but it's not going to be a great game in my opinion.
West Brom 2-1. I'm
absolute lack of quality. I would not be surprised, but I just expect at least 2 errors from each team, and that's why I'm just like, okay.
But that's it. They'll make errors, but the other team's not good enough to capitalize on it.
That's fair. That's totally possible. I just feel like Mitrovic will have a good game. I think he's going to score a couple, and West Brom will have I don't know, a lot of people scoring. Probably have an own goal in them.
I actually have the same thought. I think Mitrovic is going to have a good game, couple of goals. So I'm going 2-1 Fulham. Yeah, I think I agree with you on that part. I don't think it'll be too many goals, but
watch it be like a 0-0 game, bro.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's a big. That's what I thought you guys would predict. To be very honest with you, that's what that's why I went with the score like a 2-1 because I thought.
Yeah, every time I go with the normalcy, I'm trying some different stuff over here because like my predictions have been so poor. I'm just like trying to go out of the box a little bit.
Yeah, you're following my lead. But Leeds versus Leicester, the last game on Monday. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a really exciting game. Leeds good form. Leicester will be oozing of confidence after beating Arsenal. Zoe, you can take this.
Yeah, bro, for me, I think this is going to be an exciting game. Leeds only knows how to play one way, and that's all out. And this Leicester team under Brendan Rodgers has just been evolving every season, and they've been evolving in a good way. Like this time around, they're not sort of they're not pressing up as high, but they are being more compact. They are being harder to break down. It's been it's nice to see them evolve past that sort of that championship winning season, that title winning season, where they surprised everybody, and then just how they've sort of like tried to keep that form going, and they have succeeded to a certain extent. I think that Brendan Rodgers deserves a lot of credit for how he's been able to get them to play, especially after they were beginning to dip under Ranieri. Again, like I said, Leeds is going to play all out. I think Leicester is going to be able to find space because of that, and I think it's going to be a 3-2 Leicester win.
3-2 to Leicester. And Jamie Vardy is going to be fit to play, do you think, the full game?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. Don, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, what we might lack in quality for against the Fulham and West Brom game, we'll probably see a lot of that over here. Like I think we might lack it in that game, but I think we'll see a lot of quality in this game. I think Patrick Bamford, Jamie Vardy, both very very good strikers, so they'll like even a half a chance they'll be able to convert. It's going to be a very good game, Zoe mentioned. Uh, Leicester will find a lot of space because Leeds just like all out attack kind of team. So Leicester will find space. I'm expecting Leeds to go on and win this one. Actually, uh, they will outscore Leicester. They will outscore Leeds. I think. Sorry, Leeds will outscore Leicester,
Leicester
and
winning,
it's gonna
man.
be 4-3, 4-3 to Leeds.
Two Leeds. Okay, now
Yeah, yeah.
Leeds.
No, I'm saying 4-3 to Leeds. I'm saying that Leeds will outscore Leicester. Leicester will find space, but I think Leeds will be better in the end.
Okay, that was really confusing.
I know I completely confused the names over there. Sorry, but
So,
yeah,
Don, you're going 4-3 Leeds, and Zoe, you're going 3-2 Leicester.
I am, yes.
Okay, and yeah, I'll go 2-2. I think I see goals as well in this game, but I just feel, yeah, I don't know if anyone will get that winner, but it's going to be I think this will be probably the most exciting game of the game week if it lives up to the expectations. But yeah, that wraps up that game. Now, guys, take out your training jerseys, take out your jackets. It's for the big, it's for the big
Yeah,
fight, the big game. Saving best for last is Manchester United versus the Arsenal on Sunday at Old Trafford. Big game. Who should I go with first? Let me go with
home team.
the home team. Mr. Zohair Khan, your thoughts on this game?
Bro, I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm not stressing. I think that there's a clear hierarchy in this. There's levels to this, and Arteta's here and Ole's here, bro.
Okay.
It's a different schedule we play. Sorry, bro. We just wrapped up beating Leipzig 5-0. I'm sorry, man. Like, who are you guys playing? What farmers are you playing? But no, on a serious note, I just think in all honesty, I think that United's been showing some good form. Getting better at the back defensively, especially after conceding 6 against Tottenham. They've tightened things up. De Gea is looking good, looking like he's back to the De Gea of old as opposed to the guy last season, that imposter. All these little bits and pieces. The 5 goals today is going to give us a huge boost in confidence. Rashford with a hat trick. They're talking about Bamford getting a hat trick in the Premier League before Rashford. But bro, come and talk to me when you're playing with the big boys. Champions League hat trick, son. So just all these things really bode well for United. I think that Pogba had a good game today. Donny played well. Bruno played well when he came on today. Mason had a goal today as well. So just everyone's really getting that confidence boost that they needed. Tony with the goal and assist. All these things are really, really important. I think they're going to come into that Arsenal game. Plus it was at home. Home has been shaky for us. So they're going to come into the Arsenal game with a lot of confidence. And Ole's going to, try and set things up right. I can never tell with this guy because it's, 2 steps forward, 1 step back sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that United's going to come away with a 2-0 win.
2-0. And Zoe, how important was it to see Ole make these tactical changes? Like he didn't start Bruno, gave him rest, gave Rashford rest, obviously for the Arsenal game, because I think last season that was the problem. They were burning out, and I guess he realized that this season you have to make these changes, especially with the tight fixture list and the COVID issue going on. You can't play a player every game.
I don't think it was even that he didn't know it last season. I think he knew it, but we just had
couldn't do it.
We didn't have the bench to bring on players that'd be like, all right, you can come on and this is going to be, a like for like swap, or there isn't going to be a significant dip in quality. When you take off Bruno Fernandes and you bring on someone like Jesse Lingard or Andreas Pereira, no disrespect to them, but it's just a clear gulf in quality. Now, if you're not starting Bruno, you're able to start Pogba in the hole, or you can start Donny. You have players that can come in and really show their worth. And you saw how well Donny played today. Pogba put in a good shift. Every United fan will tell you Pogba is the most frustrating player on our team. But today he put in a really good shift. The whole time that he was in there, he was making good plays. Yes, he lost the ball. Yes, there were things that could have been better. But overall, I thought he had a great game. And just these things, they really. So on paper, we look good. It's just a matter of getting all these guys to play well together. So for me, like I said, it just comes back to it. It's looking, like we're heading in the right direction. We finally have that depth to deal with, as you said, this congested fixture list. All these things, all these games coming together. So I think it's all of that bodes well for us.
Yeah, and lastly, any changes in the back line for you? Do you think someone like Atalis will get a shot in this game, or any other changes would you like to see?
For me, man, I think it depends whether we go 3 at the back or 4 at the back. I think if we go 4 at the back, Shaw will probably keep his spot. But if we go 3 at the back, then I see Tellez coming in as a wing back. I think
Okay.
that's where we're
Fair
going to
enough.
see more of him. But
Fair,
let's see how it goes.
fair enough. Don, your thoughts on this game? Big game. I mean, if the start of the season, Arsenal looked like the better team, but now United are getting back into it slowly. But like Zoe said, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You really don't know with this United team. But what are your initial thoughts on this game?
So today's game, like you should take a lot of confidence from today's game. Like that's a perfect kind of foil for you to jump into a big game over the weekend against a side who struggled attacking wise. I mean, Arsenal has struggled. There's no denying that. There have been issues on the forward front for us. We've not been able to convert some goals. But defensive structure, I'm very happy with. I'm not worried about a defensive structure. So that's the one thing that is positive. But then attacking wise, we're struggling a lot. I just think that defensive because of the game that you guys had today, you guys will come with confidence. But I think that our structure would be able to block you guys off nicely. But I think we will struggle with moving forward. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. We've been on 2 1-0 losses in the past 2 game weeks. I'm going to go on the better side of 1-0. I just think that it's not going to be a very high scoring game because I think we'll be able to block you off well. But at the same time, we won't be able to score that many. But I think we have one moment of magic from Alba to kind of win us that 1-0 victory. I'm just gonna keep it simple with you guys, not too much.
But just a question on that, like you said, like so basically you're saying like if you go a goal up, then your confidence on your defense to keep a clean sheet, right? Like
Yes.
to protect that lead.
Yeah.
But we've seen like last year, like in the FA Cup, they came back from a goal down, they scored 2 goals. But why are they struggling now to score these goals, Arsenal?
I honestly don't know how to pinpoint it. Really, I'm lost at loss for words because these were the same guys who played last season and were able to do it. But I don't know, this season they seem a little disjointed going forward. I think it's a matter of like Ceballos was injured and he's coming back and he had a poor game as his first game back. So maybe he improves that quality, and then just Aubameyang has just kind of been found wanting this season. He's just not there and thereabout. But I don't think it's his fault completely. I don't think he's getting the kind of service that you'd expect from him. Lacazette has been getting those chances, but he's not converting, which is very unfortunate. So I think there's just those things that are not going in our favor. It's just a matter of getting one game with a few goals, and I think that'll come back. But it's just not happened in the past 2 or 3 games, and we've had some tough games. Like we've played City, Leicester. United is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, if you were playing them 2 weeks back, I'd be much more comfortable. That would be perfect foil for us to jump into like getting a high scoring game, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And I think that's why your approach is a bit conservative as well in this podcast.
I just feel like we need that one game. We need, with due respect to some of the lower teams, I expect us to kind of play like someone like a Burnley or maybe a Sheffield, to kind of just go out there and just try and get like 4 or 5 goals, where you can really break the shackles. We're kind of like stuck in the middle right now, and I think that needs to happen. I don't think it's going to be this game. I hope it is. You guys will have a harder time if we beat you like 4-0 final or something, but I don't think that's going to happen realistically. But I'm expecting one of those games to kind of come through soon, hopefully, and we'll probably be able to break the shackles and move forward from there.
Yeah, I honestly thought Don was going to say that you're going to beat us 7-1 because if Spurs can score 6, then Arsenal can score 7. But yeah, some really good points.
But I mean, we scored 8, so what can I tell you?
But yeah, I think some really good points from both of you. Apart from the banter, there's some like very valid points from each team. I'm going with... I have a 1-1 draw. I'm going right down the middle. 1-1 United.
Bro,
Arsenal.
go wash your mouth with soap and come back. And
I have to be the neutral guy in this podcast.
You don't,
but honestly, in the last few games, in the last few seasons, it's been like this. It's been like 1-1, 2-2. There's been a lot of draws, I think, in between. Yes, Arsenal did win a couple of games. United won a couple of games, but there have been draws. I just feel that... I don't know, both teams will be a bit cagey to start off with, especially this new Arsenal look. They look solid in the defense and midfield area, but like going forward, creativity, maybe not as much. So, I mean, I'm going with 1-1, but hoping for a United win. But yeah, I honestly think it'll be a draw. So to end this, I just wanted to ask you guys to pick one player to watch out for this game. Don, you pick a United player. Zoe, you pick an Arsenal player. So you can go first.
It's Rashford, bro.
No, you didn't get me.
Pick an Arsenal player.
I pick an Arsenal player. Sorry.
I thought...
My bad, bro. My bad on that. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
So, which Arsenal player do I think that we need to watch out for?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I'm asking you, because I think it'll be more interesting that way, just from your perspective, from a United fan's perspective.
Huh. Bro, they're all trash. But no, seriously. I mean, look, the obvious answer is always going to be Oba, because Oba is the player to watch. But I think how the ball gets played out of midfield is going to be important. So depending on if Ceballos is playing, I think Ceballos is a player to watch. If he isn't, then I think Xhaka.
Okay. Don, United player to watch out for.
So I'm going to be interesting over here, right? I'm going to say Harry Maguire. If we can see the Harry Maguire that's the refrigerator with that's not plugged in, I think we'll have a good game. But if he's plugged in, if he's there in that game, if he's mentally and physically available and ready in that game, I think we'll find it hard. He's capable. He's not a fast player. He's not a fast guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a capable defender. And I'm just hoping that he forgets to plug himself on and he can just like make some absolute abysmal errors and
Bro, he's not David Luiz, relax.
But actually, that's
significantly better than him, though.
That's a really good pick, though. That's a really good pick. I mean, that's a really good pick, because you're right. Like, he screwed up against Tottenham, but I think against the last two games, against Chelsea and against Leipzig, I think he was much better. So I mean, and there you go, you got clean sheet, right? So I think that's a valid point. Like,
yeah, I think his past 2 game weeks he's been better, and he's understood. Though he's no Van Dijk, he's no any other defender who's been the prime. He knows what his limitations are, and sometimes I think he tries too hard to like just be very fancy, and that's not what you need from him. You need from him what he did against Leipzig today, or what he did against Chelsea last season, last week. Oh my god, I need to stop saying last season. But so he did against Chelsea last week. So it just makes his life easier. He plays to his strengths, and he's a good defender when he plays to his strengths, and that's what I want to see. If he can try to be fancy, I'd love it, because then we can really beat you guys. That'd be fun. But I think if he just brings his A game, like he plays to his strengths and just is calm and composed on the ball at the back, I think.
Bro, he's gonna nutmeg Laka, bro.
I could feel a comment coming from Zoe. He's warming up there. But yeah, I think those some excellent points. That wraps up all the predictions for this game week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. I hope both of you show up next week, regardless of the result. But yeah, if it's a good game, I'm hoping for a good game, exciting game. Any last thoughts on this game week?
Nope. I think just looking forward to the games. I just hope it's a good win for us, so I can really come in here and just like pull my jacket out and show you guys my Arsenal jersey and like really rub it in.
Bro, listen, we have a future prime minister playing for us, so all I'm saying is vote Rashford in the next general election. To all my homies in the UK. Yeah, watch out for him to score a couple against Arsenal.
Yeah, but he's looking in form. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Hoping for an exciting game week and an exciting United versus Arsenal game. Hopefully you see a lot of goals this game week. Take care and have a good night.
You as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.